It was only a few months ago that Kevin Feige stood up there in front of everyone and in a stunning announcement said, we're done with Phase 4. We're ending it prematurely after massive box office failures and disappointments, and after a series of streaming shows that quite frankly didn't move the needle for Disney. They said, we're done with Phase 4. We're on to Phase 5. And they laid out a massive plan, month by month, year by year, of all the garbage that they wanted to push out there. Well, it looks like already they're having to change their tune. After 2022 came to a close, Disney's worst year in nearly 50 years, nearly half a century for Disney, and of course now being forced to lay off 7,000 people in light of their streaming failures and box office disappointments, it looks like Disney and Marvel have had to rethink everything already. Marvel Studios delaying Phase 5 shows, according to a new report. According to a new report, Marvel Studios is reevaluating its MCU Disney Plus output, slowing its Phase 5 streaming output year to year. Man, it's almost like people don't want this endless garbage shoved down their throats week after week, month after month. It's almost like it hasn't been profitable for them. We've talked about this. When you look at Disney Plus, in the past 2 quarters, so the past 6 months, Disney Plus has lost Disney nearly $2.5 billion. $1.5 billion 2 quarters ago, and then the past quarter, they lost over $1 billion. That's not a rumor, that's not making that up. That's what they themselves have reported in their quarterly earnings reports. Disney Plus is losing money hand over fist, and now they're being forced to go back and rethink things because maybe they can't afford to put these projects out the same way they have before. Because even though everyone thought the MCU is just going to be this money maker forever, all of a sudden, when they've got invested in woke identity politics, all that has gone out the window. The box office revenue has started to slow up. The ratings are not there on Disney Plus. And in this disastrous year for Disney, they're having to cut costs everywhere. Like I said, 2022 was their worst year for their stock since 1974, and they just had to fire 7,000 people, over 3% of their workforce, as streaming numbers continue to decline. And now here we are. This was from a report from Hollywood Reporter. How much is too much Marvel and Star Wars? Disney rethinks their franchise outputs. And this is an article specifically about, even though they just released a huge slate of things, they're already going back and saying, yeah, we have to rethink that. Maybe because we can't afford to put it out. Maybe because we have to wholesale change so many of these things because we're headed down the wrong path. After years of Marvel and Star Wars movies and shows inundating screens big and small, Disney's putting the brakes on the output of some of its biggest franchises and brands following Bob Iger's February 8th comments that the company needs to be better at curating franchise content that's extraordinarily expensive. We want quality on the screen, but we have to look at what they cost us. The directive to rein in cost and output arrives as Disney prepares to release Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is getting destroyed right now by the critics. We'll see what the audience thinks about it. I don't think very many people are excited for this. I think it's going to be yet another box office disappointment for Marvel. Certainly have had a lot of those in the past couple years. Marvel is Disney's most important supplier of product, the subsidiary with the highest output, and it could feel the cuts the soonest. There's going to be a level of rigor on Marvel across the entire company, and now we know what that is. In what feels like a different timeline, at July's San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel chief Kevin Feige put the pedal to the metal when he outlined 5 Disney Plus shows for 2023. What If Season 2, Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, and Agatha. Now, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Loki Season 2 and Secret Invasion are the only sure bets to debut this year. Even projects that wrapped months ago, like Hawkeye spinoff Echo and Ironheart, who wants these shows, my God, are unlikely to arrive in 2023 as the studio spreads out its content and tinkers in post-production. At the point of comparison, during Phase 4, Marvel Studios released a breakneck 18 projects across theatrical and streaming. 4 films, 5 TV shows in 2021, 3 films and 3 TV shows in 2022, plus a few specials. And it is clear that the audience demand simply isn't there. It's not there. That's one of the reasons they're having to do this. They need to cut costs. They're having big problems with their VFX because they're trying to produce too many things that people aren't watching. That's why they've lost $2.5 billion in the past 6 months on Disney Plus. Marvel is a big reason why that happened. And now just a few months after all these major announcements laying out their full plan for Phase 5, they're already being forced to reverse course completely and totally, delaying a ton of things. Maybe because they realize the audience doesn't want some of this stuff, we need to retool it, we need to fix it, and maybe because they just can't afford to do it. Either way, more chaos at Marvel Studios for Disney. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.